Hey guys, Greatness here, and today we have an interview with Eccentric's MC.
Well, I'm the guy who's actually doing the interview.
I am on the phone with him, and if you don't know, I am Harry, aka Pickraft, Vice President in the 5th presidential election. So, Nathan, I'm going to hand it over to you, and let's have a good interview.
Okay, so guys, I'm on Rears right now. The background footage is kind of random. I'm doing this live recording, so whatever happens, happens here. But what we really want to get to is, I have some questions that have been prepared for Game Boy Power. Gosh, I just failed there. Okay, I cannot edit this. Question. Wow, I thought if anyone was going to fail, it would be you. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I got some questions here prepared for GREATNESS685. See, their names sound kind of the same. Or GREATNESS685 or Michael. And yeah, these questions, some of them were organized by me, some of them were just compiled by one-on-one interviews with the community. But yeah, so let's get right into it. Alright, so the first question I want to ask tonight is, Greatness, or Michael, what do you think about the Off-Field administration reconciling itself, like bringing it back again? Because in recent, just in recent days, in fact, on our Christmas Eve live stream, they haven't confirmed that he'll be bringing it back. Hopefully, Matthew will be cooperating to get it back up again. So, what do you think about the Off-Field administration coming back again?
It's not going to be as hard to take down, because I have confirmed that I am going to stop this if it gets out of hand. I hope that it's coming back, not for evil, like they have when they first started, but I hope that they have better purposes. If it gets out of hand, even if I am the op, I will stop it, because op does not stop me from taking down the Off-Field administration. Without their main man, they have very little power.
Alright.
And if we react quickly, you vote for Harry and I for president and vice president, you will see results. I told you earlier that op will not stop. That is true. Right. However, it will be a lot easier for us if you vote for it. Because with my amazing president that has hired me as his vice president, I would love to work with you guys to help take down the Off-Field administration if it becomes too strong.
Alright. Another question is this. Oh shoot, there's a skeleton attacking me. You gotta be kidding me. Ow. Oh, no. Oh, gosh. This is why you don't do interviews on night, people, when you have no health regen. Oh my gosh, that skeleton took way too long.
2 times a day.
Yeah. Oh gosh, my inventory's full. Hold on, before I ask the next question, I just gotta get this thing real quick. Alright, that's good. Let me just put these down. Okay, the next question is this. So you earlier, okay, so Off-Field administration, that was already brought up. What makes you think that they could potentially become corrupt, like a corrupt organization again, if the guy who caused all the corruption is no longer in the group or even on the server? What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, so there's still a little bit of corruption left, kind of like the remains of when he was the main man. They have lost most of their corrupt values, fortunately. But as I have said before, I will let them restart. If it gets out of hand, I will not hesitate, op or de-op, vice president, president, or other staff position, to take them down.
Alright.
I have done it before, and I didn't need Game Boy Power's help. He just wanted to mooch off my success as a president and make it seem like he was the hero. That's not true. I, along with my former vice president, Ethan, were the ones who did most of the work. He was just in it for the money and the popularity. We were in it for the good of Rivers SMP.
Alright. So you're vice president. This is another question that's been brought up. So you're vice president, Ethan, or the grilled cheese. You were saying that the purpose of why you guys were trying to stop the Australia administration, you said your purpose was for the good of Rivers. However, from the past actions from your vice president, it doesn't. Now, I know, like, when you were running for president for re-election, this was a question about your vice president was brought up way too much. But I'm sorry to bring it back. But the question is this: even though you were in it for the good of Rivers, and we do believe that you were in it for the good of Rivers, it seems like your vice presidential candidate was more in it for delivering, like, getting payback because he had a grudge against one of the players who actually left the administration. In fact, your vice president is one of the most infamous criminals in Rivers, which got him permanently banned, and it's been long awaited permanently banned, as some people call it. What are your thoughts on this?
Alright, first of all, we rooted to his criminal record, Nathan. He was framed for a lot of it. While not all of it, he has admitted to doing some of the things. Definitely not all of it. It is very good that it's not as big as we thought it was at first. So my thoughts on him as vice president, I think that I just want to give him another chance and show that he would make just as good a vice president as anyone else. And when you think of him as my vice president, you think he's a bad guy. No. Although he did do a few wrong things, he was a great vice president in the aspect that he reformed the role of vice president to make it better. What he also did was he guided me through the process of taking down the Australia administration. That's why I still call him my legal advisor.
Alright.
He helped me take down the Australia administration. He gave me the advice I needed and the position that I needed to take out the Australia administration.
Alright.
Well, whenever you guys bring up a question about him, it's always like, what do you think about his bad action? I think that it's not bad. It's not bad to see that side, but I think that's good to see the other.
Alright. What are your thoughts about being re-elected? Because, when, the presidential candidate Jackson, who was eliminated, he actually dropped out himself right smack in the middle of a debate, like with Sam's asking a question. He's like, you know what, I can't do this, and he just quit. He literally walked right. I got it all on recording. It's in it's in one of the presidential debates. I think it's in the third one. Yeah, the third presidential debate. What do you think about okay, since you were already elected to be the vice president of Jackson RW once, what do you think about getting re-elected to be a vice presidential candidate for Pickcraft? What are your thoughts on this?
I think that as being the first president we elected and the first president to fulfill their entire list of campaign promises, I think that made a big difference, and people would readily choose me as their vice president. And of course, Jackson and Harry are both on the same side with most ideas, because just like in America, there seems to be multiple sides, and since Jackson and Harry are on the same side, and Gaylord Power is on a different side, I think that I'll just call them the green and the brown side. Dano's the brown side. Jackson and Harry are the green side. The people on the green side would be ready to choose me as their vice president, people on the brown side would choose someone else. It didn't come as a surprise, but yet, with all this, I'm glad to see that Harry has made the right choice, and I will not let you down, according to Rich Man 7.
Alright. What are your... Okay, since you were one of the key players in this, since you're one of the key players in, this, election, you had an idea of kind of like giving a reform to the, oh my gosh, hold on, Eric keeps asking me this thing, hold on. Okay. So, basically...
Yeah, don't worry, he does that a lot.
Yeah, so, the question is this. You had an idea last night, there was a bit of a panel talk, you had an idea of reforming the way we do elections, saying that you said, and I quote, if we have this new form of election, anyone can become an admin in Rivers. Well, what are your comments on your comment there? Because some people didn't really understand it, some people thought it was misinterpreted, some people thought like, oh my gosh, what is he saying? What did you mean when you said that?
Definitely misinterpreted. I can easily see why. Now that I look back on what I said, I wish that I had maybe formed that a little bit differently. To say that players who aren't ready for the hype of elections can have a more civilized, relaxed way to become a staff member at their own pace. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. So, we'll still have the election for the people who like all that hype and the people who are really popular in Rivers. But for the other side, the people who are newer, the people who are more shy, and the people who want to be an admin or cop, but want to do it at their own pace, this will be the thing for them. A person at the staff level that they would like to go to, such as if I wanted to become admin, I would ask an admin, and what the admin would do is he or she will give me a one-on-one test of being an admin. And if I do good and pass the test, including but not limited to test of criminal record, test of justice, in which you are instructed to give out punishments according to different situations, test of knowledge, how well you know your way around Rivers, and I also want to tell you about probably the biggest test, which is the test of trustworthiness, where you're asked a series of questions and asked to do a series of things, and if you pass this, you are considered trustworthy enough to hold a staff position. This coincides with a test of criminal record to determine the majority of should this player be a staff member.
Alright.
So, I'm afraid that I could probably go on for hours about this. In fact, Nathan, I might have you make your own video just for this, and it would probably be about 45 minutes long.
Wow.
So, yeah. Anyway, go on to your next question. We can talk about this later.
Alright. Another question is also about elections. There has been some talk for quite a while about there being an electoral vote in Rivers, like depending on countries and stuff. Tell me the formula that these electoral because you told me you had an idea about electoral votes. So tell me the formula you would use to have electoral votes work.
Alright, so at first I did not support this idea, since players can live in multiple countries, but I have found a way to kind of get through this and make fair electoral votes so players do not have to choose only one country to cast their vote for. They can cast their vote for all the countries that they live. And you may be asking, well, if you live in 3 countries, you'll get more votes than if you live in 2 countries. Well, we've gone past that too. What happens is, for every 4 players a country has, you get 1 electoral vote. So, if a country has 16 players, you get 4 electoral votes. And if you have like 15, you round up to the nearest vote.
All right.
And the way that you would vote for your country is at the designated voting area in your country. You can place your vote, and the votes will all be counted. And just like in real life elections, the person who has the most votes in the country will get all of the electoral votes. So that's what we have right now. We may reform it later during the 6th presidential election.
Yeah.
But that's what we have for now. This is still work in progress, but I really hope to introduce this new system to rivers. And like we did with the extended terms for my 2nd term, try it out, see how it works. Nathan, I have a question for you. This may be a little bit off topic, but
Yeah.
what do you think about the extended term?
Oh, I am all for it because I do think that the term time that we chose for the other candidates, 1 month. I mean, honestly, yeah, it might seem long, but one problem.
Just like I was saying earlier about
It goes by too fast.
About Danny's campaign promises.
Yeah.
Some of them, they're nearly impossible to do in 1 month.
Yeah. Well, I guess some of them are. He has a whole bunch of them. I doubt he'll even be able to accomplish all of them, even the ones he can actually do very quickly.
But actually, I was able to complete 16 campaign promises in 1 term.
Yeah, that is a lot.
This term, which was longer, I did 20.
All right.
Not as many as I hoped to do, but hey, can't blame me for underworking. I bet that our other presidents combined don't even have half of the campaign promises I completed in 1 term. I actually think that that's true because, yeah, we had about 3 from our first president and like 2 from my second president. That's 5. Half of 16 is 8. Yeah.
This is very interesting. One, I have 2 final questions for you. First one is this.
Sure, take your time.
I think that there's 2 final questions. If we have more time, I might ask a 3rd bonus one.
Do 10 if you want. I'm fine with it.
Okay, well, I'm on short time. Well, actually, I'm not. I have like 20 minutes left. Okay, 20 minutes left of recording time. Anyway, so let's get right into it. So another question I have is this one. This is, what are your thoughts on Dano's new company, Dano Corp, the multi-purpose mega shop business giant Magoo thing, that he built? What are your thoughts on this? And by the way, guys, the headquarters for Dano Corp is a gigantic golden building. I'm not even kidding. It's a gigantic golden tower.
As Joe, aka Banana Beast Boy, says, and I quote, "We can both agree that Dano spent too much money on this. This is a waste of the money on Rivers.
Yeah.
If we see him as our next president of Rivers, imagine where our hard-earned money will go. Will it go to another one of those monstrous buildings? Or a better river. More benefits for the players, less inflation, and just all in all, a stronger economy. That's what will happen to vote for Harry. And then we have Danocorp.
Yeah.
Danocorp, successful. It's successful already, even in its early stages. But I think that can just go a little bit too crazy on the buying. I mean, they're not Microsoft buying Minecraft, buying Skype, buying what was that one company my dad's work uses? Yeah, they bought like 20 companies. Rivers isn't like that.
Yeah, I mean, Harry even said it himself. Rivers is not a business. If it was a business, it will. I mean, this is very okay. Let me cut in here for a second, if I can. I'm sorry, Harry. This is probably one of his most memorable and probably one of my favorite quotes from a presidential candidate in Rivers. It was this. He said, "I'm not a businessman. I'm someone who can unite people because Rivers is not a business. If it was a business, well." And I kind of cut that part out because he kind of went into deep explaining. But then I cut to saying it's not a business. It's an amazing community of friendly people. See?
Yes, and I agree with that. And he's trying to make it himself a giant empire. I have a giant empire, and you know what? Every one of those shops is mine that I built from scratch. I started up, and have you seen any more than 2 of my businesses permanently closed? No. And I will name those 2. Fancy Steakhouse, Best Barbecue. Those 2. And they just happen to be food businesses.
Well, because you know who owns the best food shop in Rivers? It's NCMC.
We all know whose corner is the food business.
Oh, yeah. Obsolete. Oh, wait, sorry, not Obsolete Administration. I wrecked them. Me. Yeah.
So, yeah. What you can see here is that, yeah, stop the buying, stop the monstrous, expensive buildings, and start making a better river.
Another question I have is this. This is another question. Oh man, I'm on like 1 heart and I have no food left. This is just great. No, I'm not gonna buy from one of
you. You own the most profitable shop in Rivers and just have to sell food and you're out of food.
I'm always out of food. Come on, it's just who I am. I never eat on Rivers. Which is funny because I think I eat more in real life. I'm the only guy who can say I eat more in real life than I do in Rivers. No, I'm not. I'm not a glutton. I'm not a glutton. I just like, I like my Doritos.
Nathan, you're allowed to steal from your own shop.
I know I am. It's just that I want people to buy more. I mean, haven't you seen Daniel? He left 9 stacks of apples more too when he paid by accident. Yeah, I think you burned my food. Okay.
And he's burning it. Yeah.
Yeah, he burns people's stuff.
Another reason why he's unfit to be president. Your hard-earned stuff is going to be lost.
Anyway, okay. Another question is this: you've already given your opinion on Daniel Corp. We already got that. But what are your thoughts on Daniel Corp and the dang Ofterly administration, which was another mega giant in Rivers? What are your thoughts on both of those superpowers merging together? Because you know that Matthew could possibly be the vice president of Game Boy Power, since Game Boy Power wants to fix the law system, and since Matthew had a huge basically he actually was kind of like the creator of the Ofterly administration, even though he denies it. It's like they're going to be working side by side. If they're like the vice president, they're going to be working side by side.
I'm going to stop you right there. I can answer based on the information you've given me. So basically, I wouldn't call them superpowers. Daniel Corp started a week ago, less than a week ago.
They already own over.
They're both less than a week old. They're probably a week combined. They're not superpowers. And like I said before about the Steele administration, if I took them down at full power, well, actually about half power, since Daniel was trying to mooch off my success, as I said earlier, if they're at full power, half power, and I took them down, they're probably like a 16th power each. If they combine themselves, an 8th power. They're not at their full power. None of them are. And if I was able to take that, if I was able to take them down before, it would certainly be extremely easy to take them down now. I have no regrets about any of this, and I will do the same thing that I'm doing with the Auxiliary Administration. I will let them stay, but if it gets out of hand, they need to be out.
Alright. So yeah. Okay, well that's basically all the questions I have for you right now.
And I actually have a question for you.
Okay, well you have literally like 3 minutes to ask me a question before my recording automatically just cuts itself off.
That's fine. So, I have a question for you, for a change.
Alright.
How will you support the next president and vice president duo that holds office in Rivers? How will you support them to boost them up, to give them the power that they need to help Rivers in the way that they think is best? Not the way that really is best, but the way that the candidate thinks is best.
Well, honestly, if I think they're doing something incorrectly, I think that if they are doing something that can drive Rivers into the ground, I'm not talking about like economy-wise, but I'm talking about if they are supporting unjust and criminal-like activities, and they're supporting and lifting up things like that, and they're defending criminals, and they're doing things that will run Rivers into the ground, I think I have to draw a line and say, no, hold on, you guys, you're doing it wrong. And I won't immediately be like, oh, you guys made a mistake, you're out of the way. No, I'm not going to say like, oh, you did a mistake, you're out of here. No, I'm going to reprimand them, I'm going to bring to their attention, you guys are doing something wrong here. I'm going to let them know how they can do it right, and I'm going to see, hopefully they can put their own twist on that. Because as a president, if you win the election, basically we're saying, we think you're the best choice because we think that you can take the things that made Rivers great, make them your own, and build off of those type of things. And you know, they've been given the responsibility to be creative in their own way as president. And
Nathan, as you said, we don't really have much time, so please finish up, and then I'll give you the final words for this recording.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much all I want to say. I mean, if I think they're doing something wrong, I'm gonna let them know, and if they keep doing something wrong, they're gonna have to get a punishment, maybe even reprimanded. There's only been one time we had to impeach somebody.
Okay, so my final words on this. That is what I look for in a good owner. Nathan, you've been doing such a good job as owner.
Thanks.
I'm definitely staying on Rivers. I'm not quitting. When there was someone.
You're not gonna move the can now if Dano wins? No.
When there was a president on Rivers I didn't quit.
Yeah.
I stayed on because I knew that in the next election I was going to be in the clear, because the owner has the power, and I know that, like you just said, if the president did something wrong, you would make sure that you were on it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your work on Rivers, and if I become the next vice president, I look forward to serving with you and Harry. So guys who are watching this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. I'm Eccentric7C. Oh, sorry, I'm GREATNESS685, aka Michael, on Rivers SMP. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Alright, that was good. Really good.